Yo, how is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. As much as it hurts to say this, how much does Leonard Floyd leaving the Bears front seven help them out? What does Akiem Hicks bring to this front seven when he's healthy? We are going to be answering these questions and many more today in episode 20 of Uncut. Welcome back to the show, guys. Right before I hopped on this call with my two co-hosts tonight that you'll know about soon, we were talking about the insane growth on the channel. We just hit 1.2K. The goal is 1.5K by the end of the month. Might be a stretch, but you guys have been killing it on the videos lately. So do us a favor if you're new to the channel. First off, like the video. Also subscribe and click the bell for whenever we get notifications, or so you guys get notifications whenever we post. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am your host, Chris Melpe. I am joined today by two co-hosts for the first time ever on an Uncut episode. Figured we'd switch it up for episode 20. So how is it going, Zach Rimbos and Jaylen McClinton? How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. We did a Jordan Schultz interview earlier today, and that went pretty well. So
you'll be seeing that one later this week.
You'll be seeing that Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. This will go up on Tuesday, but you'll see that tomorrow. So look out for that one. Jaylen, how's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, we're grinding. This is recording our third episode today, so just putting that work in, bro.
You love the grind, man. When there's nothing else to do, might as well continue to grow and get big. So this episode today, you know, in the intro, I premiered everything that we weren't going to talk, or that we were going to talk about, but it's not even the main focus of this episode. The main focus of this episode is Khalil Mack and how he can improve down the road for the Bears. So let's go through my little spiel about Mack, then I've got a couple questions for me and the boys to answer. So, Khalil Mack had 12.5 sacks, 47 tackles in 2018, with 10 tackles for a loss and 6 forced fumbles. While it may have seemed like it to many Bears fans, he didn't drop off as much as we thought, but it was still definitely a drop in production. 8.5 sacks on the same amount of tackles, still 47 in 2019. 2 less tackles for a loss, that put him at 8 tackles for a loss. 5 forced fumbles, which was down 1. And obviously the 4 less sacks. Mack was the 2016 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro First Team, and he gets Robert Quinn to join him to be in the backfield in 2020. Obviously, that's a really major switch up from what we were used to seeing with Leonard Floyd, you know, being back there normally for the Bears. If you look at Floyd's stats throughout the last couple of years, though, he really hasn't been productive, and I hate to say it, but I'm kind of happy that he's gone. You look at Floyd the last 3 seasons, he's had a combined 11.5 sacks, 4.5 sacks, 4 sacks, 3 sacks. Really has continued to regress, I hate to say it. As his career has continued, he will now join the Los Angeles Rams, obviously a first-round pick in the 2016 NFL Draft. Jaylen, I'm going to start with you here. As much as it hurts to say it, be honest with me. Did Leonard Floyd's lack of production throughout the last couple years hurt the defensive line, and specifically Khalil Mack's production?
Yeah, definitely. You know, ever since Khalil Mack's been here, we expected Leonard Floyd to have that, you know, that big jump when it comes to his sack numbers. And the most sacks he's ever had was in his rookie season, which was 7. And he got hurt that season, so that was probably his best productive sack season from us. He just really hasn't got to the quarterback like that. He has been a great run defender, which is good. But when you're an outside linebacker and we traded up to go get you, you know, you should be producing more than 3 sacks a season. So I definitely feel like that affected Mack, you know, because he was, for a person who was getting triple teamed and double teamed, and we still weren't getting the pressure we were supposed to. I know that definitely hurt our pass rush.
I absolutely agree with you on everything you said. Like, Floyd has been great in the run game. You look at him the last 2 seasons, 40-plus tackles. But you're right, at the outside linebacker position, you really have to be more productive than that, and he unfortunately wasn't doing that for the Bears. You know, you look at him, he's someone that's going to get one-on-one opportunities whenever he can. And looking at what he did during his time in Chicago, he wasn't able to take advantage of those one-on-ones, which kept the offensive line putting multiple people on Khalil Mack, which slowed down his production. Floyd couldn't do it. So I'm going to agree with you saying that Floyd's lack of production most definitely hurt the defense all around throughout the last couple seasons. Zach, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, not too much to add on. I think Jaylen and you covered it pretty well. But obviously, I think that Ryan Pace brought in Khalil Mack expecting this pick and Leonard Floyd to pan out, and it just did not. And like you were saying, when he's getting double and triple team Mack on the opposite side, you'd expect Leonard Floyd to be able to get in there and get pressure. He wasn't unable to do that. And yeah, he was solid at tackling, like you were saying. But you definitely need to step up. And this Robert Quinn deal that we have now is, Robert Quinn has never played with a caliber player this high of a caliber player
like
Mack.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it'll be very scary. But yes, I really think that him not being able to get in is definitely hurting Khalil Mack's production for sure.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're going to talk more about Quinn later. Let's look at another defensive player on the line right here. We're looking at Akiem Hicks. I would have talked a little bit about Eddie Goldman, but guys, just give me a one-word answer. I'm pretty sure we have a consensus here. Is Eddie Goldman a beast? I mean, I think he's really underlooked. I think we can all agree that Eddie Goldman is really underrated and a very solid producer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Him and Akiem in the run game is scary.
Yeah. So, talking about Akiem Hicks here, he's someone who went down last year with an elbow injury against the Oakland Raiders. Never really recovered. He came back in the season. Has such a great attitude towards the game. Is such a fighter, and it was tough to see him not be able to produce. But we still really respect that he came in and tried to help this team make a playoff push. Obviously, it didn't happen, finishing 8-8. But looking at Hicks' time throughout Chicago, been really productive. 7.5 sacks in 2018, 8.5 sacks in 2017, 7 sacks in 2016. Ryan Pace has him locked up for the foreseeable future. He signed a deal, I believe it was either in 2018 or 2019, a long-term extension. Unfortunately, 2019 didn't go down how he wanted to. Only 10 tackles and 1 sack. It's unfortunate that he got hurt so early there in London. But, Zach, I'm going to go to you first this time. How much did it hurt seeing Hicks go down in 2019? And assuming that he's going to be healthy heading into 2020, what does he bring to this defensive line when he's healthy?
I knew exactly when he went down it was going to be a problem. I'm not even lying. When we were in London playing Oakland, he saw, or I guess now Las Vegas, but when he went down, I knew immediately it was going to affect us that game. And we got pounded by the run game. And throughout the rest of the season, our line just wasn't that strong, and that's how it is. I think Akiem Hicks is one of the most underrated defensive players in the league. People really don't understand his impact. And him coming back, I already had so much respect for him, but when he came back and played Green Bay in his return, and he was still recovering from that injury, and I don't think he was 100%.
Not at all.
All of the respect I could possibly give for Akiem Hicks. It's amazing. He's seriously, he's got to be like one of the best leaders on that defensive end.
It's good that you bring up his leadership because he's one of the players on the field. I can probably only think of a couple players on the Bears that have that electrifying energy. I think of guys like Anthony Miller, like Tariq Cohen, like Akiem Hicks, like Danny Trevathan that just have that dog and that motor that keep going, and it really lifts a defense when it's on the field. So him being a leader and his mentality towards the game is really something that's overlooked. The stats speak for themselves. When Akiem has been healthy, he's been almost unstoppable, impossible to stop. A 2018 Pro Bowler, one of the most underrated defensive tackles in the league, I think. He was a third-round pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, has slowly continued to up his production as he's entered this league, but I think playing alongside Khalil Mack really opens up some opportunities for him to really shine. I think he's a great addition to this defensive line. He has been since he came to the Bears in 2016. And I think if he's healthy, he's just going to be another piece that is impossible to block.
Yep.
Jaylen, when he's healthy, what does Akiem Hicks really bring to this defensive line?
Akiem brings a lot, like you guys said, he brings leadership. He's a great run defender, and he can also get to the quarterback. Just a couple years ago, he led the team in sacks with 8, I think, in 2017.
Yeah, 8.5.
I'm a big fan of Akiem. It sucks to see him go down last year because in that Raiders game, right after he went down, Josh Jacobs started gushing us in the run game, and that's ultimately why we lost. We just couldn't hold Josh Jacobs. So, getting Akiem back is definitely going to help with Quinn. It's definitely going to help Mack too because with Akiem being so good, even though he's underrated, you're still gonna have to focus on him when it comes to the D line. So definitely give him back this season. Hopefully he stays healthy and has a great 2020 season.
100%. So we talked about Floyd, kind of being an anchor there, if we're all being honest. We talked about Hicks needing to be healthy and how much of an impact he is when he's healthy. So the Bears decide this year to bring in big ol' Robert Quinn, choosing to wear number 94, went to North Carolina. Funny because we've got one North Carolina player coming in when we might have one coming out. We can talk about the quarterback competition later, but things are looking shady for Mitch. But looking at Robert Quinn's career history, it's really impressive. He was a second-team All-American and first-team All-ACC at North Carolina. He was actually voted the Pro Football Writer NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2013, his third year in the league. He was the 14th overall pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, first-team All-Pro in 2013, Pro Bowler in 2013 and 2014. Had a little bit of a drop-off in his stats for a couple of years there. In 2017, he had 8.5 sacks for the Rams. You look at his best years, they really came from 2012 to 2014. 10.5 sacks, 19 sacks, 10.5 sacks. But 2019, he comes on the Cowboys for a year, works across from DeMarcus Lawrence, really starts to find his mojo again, 11.5 sacks. Jaylen, I'm going to start with you here. How much do you think the addition of Robert Quinn is going to help? And how does this not only help Quinn, but also help someone like Khalil Mack, who was struggling with double and triple teams in 2019?
First of all, stop dissing my quarterback. But when it comes to Robert Quinn, for a person who had 11.5 sacks last year, yes, he's 29. Yeah, he's 29 going on 30 in May. So this should definitely help Khalil. He can still get to the quarterback even at his old age compared to Leonard Floyd, who's a couple years younger than him, who wasn't getting the pressure that he was supposed to. So this should definitely help our pass rush. This front seven and defense in general is going to be really scary in 2020.
No kidding, man. You look at him, 23 tackles for loss in 2013, 13 tackles for loss in 2019. He's as effective as Robert Quinn or as Leonard Floyd is in the run game. He had 22 quarterback hits in 2019. Working across from DeMarcus Lawrence, nothing against DeMarcus Lawrence. I think I'd take Khalil Mack over DeMarcus Lawrence. So I expect another year of very good production from Robert Quinn, and all this does is help Khalil Mack, because you're not going to be able to double a healthy Robert Quinn, a healthy Akiem Hicks, a healthy Khalil Mack. Someone's going to get there, and that's the scary thing about it, Incredible year last year for Robert Quinn, or not incredible, but a really solid year last year for Robert Quinn at right defensive end. He's played a little bit of left outside linebacker throughout his career as well. But I think coming off the edge, he's going to be very deadly, and he's only going to help Khalil Mack. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, you look at all of these stats in between the players we compared, Leonard Floyd, Robert Quinn, Khalil. Leonard Floyd's best season in quarterback hits was in 2017, 2019, 12 is what he got in comparison to Robert Quinn, who in 2013
10 more with
had
a little bit of a worse pass
monster.
rusher. Yeah.
And yeah, Robert Quinn in 2013, that is so scary. 19 sacks. Just thinking about that across somebody like
almost
Khalil
the
Mack,
NFL record.
Against, on the opposite side of somebody like Khalil Mack, who in 2018, when he first came to us, was the second. He was runner-up defensive player of the year, no question. I think it's going to be so scary, especially Akiem staying healthy. Leonard Floyd was able to somewhat produce when Akiem Hicks, we had Eddie Goldman, and then obviously Khalil. When that line was healthy, Leonard Floyd was somewhat able to produce, and then obviously we saw Akiem got hurt, and Leonard Floyd, didn't produce. So I think now Robert Quinn is definitely an upgrade, and I think that's without question, and I think that line is really top three scary. Top three.
I also don't know if you guys knew this, but as far as D linemen go, you wouldn't expect a super fast 40-yard dash time, but in the 2011 NFL Combine, he ran a 4.6 40-yard dash. Wow. A pure athlete there. But I'm not going to ask you guys for a complete stat line, and I'm going to start so you guys have some time to think. Give me the number of sacks and forced fumbles you think Mack is going to have in 2020. This is a little bit of a tough one for me personally, because I feel like Mack's still going to get most of the attention, even though, Robert Quinn and Akiem Hicks are on the line, but I still think it's definitely an up year for Mack. I think it's going to be his best year in Chicago, actually. In 2020, I'm going to go bold here, but it isn't that bold in my head. I'm going to go 14 sacks. That's up 4.5 from last year. 14 sacks. Wait, no, that's up more. That's up more than 4.5. Whatever, I can't do math. 14 sacks, and he had 6 forced fumbles in 2018, 5 forced fumbles 2019. I'm gonna up that by 1. I'm gonna go 14 sacks, 7 forced fumbles for Mack in 2020. Zach, what do you think as far as Mack's somewhat early prediction of a stat line for 2020?
Before we hopped on, I said that I think that Robert Quinn's production will be almost similar to Khalil, just because, like you were saying, Khalil Mack's still going to be a game plan for an offensive line. You have to shut down Khalil Mack first, and then you worry about the other people, and you're not going to be able to do that. So I think that it's going to be – I mean, Khalil Mack has been consistent throughout his career. I think that he is going to end up with 11.5 sacks, and I'm going to say 6 forced fumbles again this year.
Still a solid season. If you're predicting Robert Quinn to have a similar amount of sacks and forced fumbles, I mean, that's an incredible season. I just expect Mack to be able to do a little bit more with that decrease of attention on him, I guess you can say, with Hicks healthy as well. Jaylen, what do you think? Forced fumbles and sacks for Khalil Mack in 2020.
Okay, so before I get into my prediction, it's been a lot of people that say, it was dumb for us to trade for Khalil Mack because of his sack production this year. But for a person who's caused 11 forced fumbles in the last 2 seasons is crazy. I don't know how many of those converted in turnovers, but for you to still force the ball out is 11 times in 2 seasons is like weird. It's like amazing.
He's really a wizard at it.
Definitely. So for Khalil Mack's 2020 season, I'm gonna go 10 sacks. 5 forced fumbles. I want to say more, but it's still Khalil Mack. At the end of the day, he's gonna get triple teamed, double teamed most of the season. So I'm gonna go 10 sacks here.
And that's crazy because it really opens up opportunities for guys like Robert Quinn and Hakeem Hicks, and maybe we can get into their predictions someday in another Uncut. But normally our Uncuts are supposed to be between 5 and 10 minutes, but this has been 17 minutes, so you get an extra long episode today. Thank you guys who stuck with us the whole way. Do us a favor before you leave, smash the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications on when we post. If you want more content from us, head over to bearddown.com. We're posting a ton of good stuff on there. We got a ton of writers behind the scene who put in a ton of work. We really appreciate everyone on our team. You can find the links to our social media down in the description. I feel like I am talking so fast. And you can also follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down. It's been a pleasure joining you guys tonight. Zach Rimbos, Jaylen McClinton, any last words for the fans tonight?
Bear down.
Thank you guys so much for 1K again. We're at about 1.22K right now, which is crazy. But stay safe. Make sure you're practicing social distancing and bear down.
I mean, with all the plans that we have for this summer, if everything goes as planned and we're allowed to go to training camp and stuff, I think at least for those of us in Chicago, we're going to be out there a lot, not only doing some great reporting, getting some good footage for you guys, we're going to be putting out absolutely, a ton of content, interviews, film analysis, uncut, podcasts, so much more is coming, and I can't even start to think of where we're going to be at the end of the summer, I really don't know. It could be 2K, it could be 1.5K. I think the goal for now is 1.5K by my birthday, which is June 20th. It seems like that's achievable if we keep going at this rate. Once again, we're going to keep grinding out content for you guys. We really fall in love with it. The more that the support comes in, we want to push out more stuff for you guys. And it's been incredible. We've had some incredible collabs, some incredible guests that we've talked to. Jordan Schultz interview coming out tomorrow. It's been a lot of fun here at Beared Down, and this is just the beginning, I imagine myself doing this for the next couple of years. We'll end up seeing where it goes, but I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm along for the ride. As always, Bears fans, thank you so much for tuning in. The support is absolutely incredible. And as always, everyone have a great day, stay safe, and bear down. Peace.